Hi. Well, it's been 2 months today, October 25th. Officially 2 months of me living and working in Zhengzhou, China. So, what have I been up to so far? What is there for me to tell you in the 2 months? How have I changed since I am the protagonist in my own story? Um, I don't know. That's still being written, I suppose. I'm obviously teaching literature if I'm going to say things like that. Um, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I am teaching. I'm teaching middle school kids, and middle school in China is high school age. And but I'm not an English teacher. I am a literature teacher. But sometimes I'm an English teacher because of the levels. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, should I edit that out? Because of the levels of comprehension is different from student to student, class to class. And I do think I've mentioned that we're studying The Outsiders, and it's taken us a really long time to get through chapter 1, but finally we are through chapter 1. So yes, my whole life in China right now revolves around my students because I don't know a lot of people and I don't speak Chinese. I've picked up a few words, lao shi, which means I'm a teacher. It doesn't mean I'm a teacher. I think it just means teacher. Megwa, which means American. And, gosh, how do I say it? Wu Jiao, Adrina. My name is Adrina. And Due. Yeah. And Putonghua and Henanhua. So Putonghua is Mandarin, which I should be learning, but what I'm really picking up is Henanhua. So it's kind of like there's standard American English, and then there is the way people talk in New York, and then there's the way that people talk in California, and there's the way people talk in the South. It's kind of the same in the Midwest, way people talk in the Midwest. So it's kind of the same thing. So people in Henan who speak Henanhua, maybe would have some differences with, say, somebody from Shanghai. So it's probably not the best for me to learn Hananhua, but right now, without anyone to teach me, this is just what I'm picking up. And my whole life is around 16, 17-year-old kids. So that, think about it. And I also, I think that's it for what I've learned. Oh, yeah. So for Hananhua, I know how to say, how do you say it? So I can't even remember how to say. I know how to say, what is this? But I don't know how to say it in Putonghua. I used to know for a second, but the Hananhua is so much easier. So, Scheiße, and which sounds very much like Scheiße, which I used all the time in Germany, and I still use that word. So, but Scheiße is what is it in Hananhua? Or I can just say sha, which is definitely not Putonghua. So yeah, I'm not picking up Mandarin. But that, it's something, some forms of communication. So anyway, though, with this very small amount of abilities to communicate, I don't really go out much. So I don't feel like I'm really getting the full experience of what it's like to be a Westerner living in China, or maybe even just visiting China. The oddity of working here, and just doing my work and going to work is that it has a routine. So it's similar to life in the United States in some way. You know, like I'll have a day where I'll get bored or uh, think something's kind of a mundane activity, but then it dawns on me, oh, I'm having this mundane activity in China. That's crazy. Or, you know, like sometimes I just forget where I am. It's not too hard to forget though, because I'm constantly reminded that I'm in China, and of course the air is very different. And but it's more like uh, just small things, aside from looks, but just the way people look or how people move or whatever, or just their behaviors. It's just really small things. Like they have street workers, and when I say street workers, I don't mean prostitutes. And I don't mean people that are doing construction. I mean people that sweep the street. They're street sweepers. And every morning I walk past this man, and that's what he does. He all day long he sweeps the street, and the brooms are huge bristles of a type of dried branch, and that's all they do. And there's people all around that's their job. They're sweeping the street, and that's just something you don't really see as a regular job all over in the United States. There's things like that, and of course the driving. You know, you can never forget the driving. I talk to the kids about driving in China and driving in America, and many of them have been to the United States, and they laugh because they know that that the driving is really different. They're very aware that the way you drive in China is very different from the way that you drive in the United States. And so I'm losing my thoughts here, but what I'm saying is that I'm just working. I'm just working. So I had written to a friend earlier, and that friend had said, well, I think that you're probably just one Chinese friend away from having a really good time. And I think that that's true. I think that part of being in a place is being able to engage with people, and regardless of having a language barrier, and also traveling. But I haven't had my passport for 2 months because that is taken that long for the government to return my passport to me with my work permit in it. So I was stuck. And so even though we had 2 vacations since I've been here, I couldn't go anywhere because of not having a passport. The passport laws that went into effect on September 1st, I have nothing to compare it to, so I don't know. It just seemed like it dragged on forever and was really complicated, and sucked because I did want to go places, but I couldn't. So I don't know what it's like for people that have done it before. But almost 2 months. It was a week shy. Almost just 4 days shy of a month, or of 2 months. So now I have a passport. Now I'm actually legal, because for a while there I wasn't really legal because I didn't have any papers. I had no documents whatsoever. And now, yay! If I get hit by a e-bike and they need my passport, I've got it. So back to what my friend said about the one Chinese person away from having a good time. So I, for the first time, went out last night with a woman that I met, a Chinese woman I met, and then I went to a bar with her and her 2 friends, and She's the only one that speaks Chinese. She's the only one that speaks English, and everyone else speaks Chinese. And I just sat around with this bar full of Chinese people. I was the only Westerner in there, and just listening. That's it. And she would translate a lot for me. It's just regular conversation, talking about dating, and some guy tried to talk about politics with me, but I said I can't talk politics when I don't speak the language, and you don't speak the language, so that's too hard. And it's not fair to have somebody translating all of that. And then some food showed up, and in bags, plastic bags. Everything's served in bags. Like if you go and you buy soup at one of the little restaurants, like if you buy some soup, they'll pour it into a plastic bag, unless you bring your own container. But yeah, everything gets served in bags. So they have a bag, and they set some bags on the table, and then it's some food. And the first thing that comes out is duck feet. It's like a glazed, tons of glazed feet of the duck, which is something that I think it's more of a snack. And so I went ahead and I gave it a try. The flavor that they use to put on the duck feet is really good, but it's hot, so hot, like lips on fire, tongue on fire, hot. I thought they were swelling up like I got Botox or something on my lips. It was so hot. But it was just a little too strange trying to eat a duck's foot. There's just not really anything on it, and it's so strange. It's gristly and bone, and I don't get it. And then there were these flava beans that came out, and they were spicy, and they were delicious. And then the head. Yes, the head of the duck. This is a snack. It was a bag full of duck heads, all cut in half. And, it was, you know what they kind of look like? You ever see the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre? They look like Leatherface. You know how he puts another human's face on his face? All these ducks, I don't know why it makes me think of Leatherface, but it did. It looked like they were wearing the masks of skin on their face. I couldn't try. I just, I want to be open, and I want to try things, and especially if people offer it to me, but I feel like the duck feet were enough. But I just couldn't try the duck head and the brain. I just couldn't do it. And I'm sure the flavor was the same because they look like the same color. But I didn't feel so bad because the woman that I was with, one of the women I was with, she said that that it is a popular snack for Chinese people, but she's Buddhist and she doesn't believe in eating it. I don't think she eats any meat, but that eating that is against her belief. So I didn't feel so bad saying no to it. But that is my first experience out on the town, and there's a lot that I can share with you guys. But I'm a little frazzled today. I'm tired. I was really sick last weekend. It's like I think I ate something that wasn't so good, or maybe some water or something. So I was in bed all weekend, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. But I just wanted to try to catch up on the video, and it seems like I should do a celebratory 2-month, post. So, my new friend, my new friend is said that she wants me to go out more often. So I may start having some more experiences to tell and maybe some more words. Okay. I really hope everyone's well. And to the people I don't know that watch this, thanks for following. And also, I appreciate the comments. I learn about China through those comments because some stuff isn't really explained to me. So yeah, thank you, and I will post again. All right, see y'all.